crash.
Welcome to the Drift HQ channel. We have another episode of Behind the Build, and today Taylor A has brought by his Turbo LS C6 Corvette, and there's a lot of really neat things about the way that he built this car, and I'm excited to have him talk about it. All right, so we're gonna start with the hood open. Taylor, you gotta give the full breakdown. I know nothing about LSs, so this is your world.
Yeah, so basically this is a 427 Borowski-built LS. So it's pretty much as built as you can get, like keeping the LS theme, all pro LS7 heads, Dart next aluminum block, full dry sump, pretty much everything. This engine was built to handle like I think they dynoed it with obviously larger turbos at like 1900 horsepower. So it's not even really being stressed in this environment. So I got an unfinished project that came with this engine and was turboed. And I initially, for a long time, I always thought Turbo LS drift car was the dumbest thing you could ever do. It made no sense to me because the benefit of the LS is you don't need a turbo. You don't add the complicated systems, but you got to deal with the packaging, right? And so I don't know why. I always thought it was stupid, but when I was building this car, I was going to do an NA setup. But when I started looking at real numbers of what they make, a lot of people will say what they can make, but they can't make that much power. The more I looked at it, the more the Turbo LS made sense, because an NA motor that I got to rev to like 8,000 RPM is going to be more stressed than this engine revving to 6,800 with a turbo on it. I mean, this thing made 1,100 horsepower at 15 pounds. So I pretty much only run it at like 8 to 10 pounds most of the time. So the goal was like a minimally stressed engine. I don't like working on stuff at the track. I wanted my car to make good power, but not be something I gotta mess with all the time.
On the stress subject too, like even like, let's say we're comparing this to like a high 700 horsepower LS, not only is it high strung, but what people don't realize is to make that power, they have to rev it high. And when you rev it high, you lose all the torque, which is like the most important thing for drifting, because we need that to flash the tires loose. So people will come to me sometimes and they'll go, oh, I want to build a 9,000 RPM LS. I go, that's going to be sick. Are you building a road race car?
Right.
Because for drifting, that's like kind of the opposite of what you want, unless you put a bunch of nitrous to wake it up on the bottom, or a turbo. And
it sounds like you, in your head, you think, oh, NA, it's gonna be way simpler. But really, it's more complicated. This motor, since I don't have to rev it, I have hydraulic lifters. I don't have to check valve lash, mess with any of that. So when I got it, it was a completely different chassis. It was an aluminum Z06 chassis, and the cage was kind of like wonky on it. So anyway, a lot changed. I kept the engine though. Viewers are like, oh, you should try the turbo. It's already got the turbo. So I was gonna just modify the turbo kit that was on it. That was the plan, just modify it a little bit because the crossover hung low and the one part was in the way of the dry sump. So that turned into rebuilding the whole thing. So I built a set of headers. It took me forever to find an accessory bracket setup that would work. You know, it's like for a car that came with this engine, it's not that easy to fit all this stuff in here. Like you don't have a lot of room between the frame rails. So I built the one header low and the other header high and put this turbo. I actually got this turbo from Drift HQ. It's a Garrett G42 1450. And I went that big because, not because I wanted the power overhead, but I didn't want to choke the engine out. Again, my whole goal was like minimal stress on the engine because like I really don't want to have to replace this thing. It's an expensive engine. I went kind of as big as I could while still hopefully retaining the low end. And fortunately, I mean, I just got like basic boost control and it wakes up super fast because you have so much torque and power out of boost that it's almost like you don't really feel the transition to boost. So the hardest thing was packaging because I had to build a 4-inch downpipe that has to snake around the steering rack and everything because I wanted to keep it open and let it breathe. And yeah, that was tough, but it was very fun and rewarding. Now, my biggest gripe with Turbo LS drift cars was heat. And that's why I did like the header shield.
Super cool looking.
You send it off and it's like there's like an insulation in here and then this, and they like spot weld it. But it's crazy because, you know.
Still hot.
That's still hot. But like you can touch like, even like the Y pipe is not that hot. The headers get hot, especially at the very top. I'm so glad I did that because I have a temperature sensor behind the head, and the engine bay temp is never hotter than the intake air temps. So it makes it to where you can work on it. You're not cooking everything. So that was like my biggest concern with the Turbo LS. And luckily that's like pretty sorted. And all in all, I mean, it's been solid. Like I beat the snot out of it and it's knock on wood. I'm not gonna say that. We're just not gonna say that. But you know what I'm getting at.
So you had a Corvette before this.
Yeah.
Where is that? Sold?
Yeah, I did a giveaway on it way back in the day.
Okay.
Or the chassis I got this from, or the original green vet?
All I was trying to arrive at was Taylor's had many vets.
Yeah.
So what have you learned over the years? Because like when you first had your vet, that was in the early days where vets were not really like a common drift car. What drew you to the vet, and what have you learned over time? And I guess where have you arrived at with this in terms of suspension and what you've learned?
Yeah, so it's funny because back then there was not a single angle kit. Nobody made one. But what I realized was when you actually look at the vet, you know, they had this stigma of like a grandpa's car. But when you look underneath, they have a completely flat four pan. There's nothing hanging below the four pan. You know, they have aluminum subframes, double A-arm front and rear. And I just kind of like realized after looking at them more, I'm like, oh, this is like built as a sports car. You know, we take 240s and even E36s, you know, and not that they're not built as a sports car, but they're built like as an economy car that's sporty. Whereas this is like a true factory sports car. Now that makes some challenges for sure, but it's got some upside. And, you know, I like the way it drives, but I also like started drifting in a clapped out Porsche 944 Turbo with like torsion keys done in the rear, coilovers in there, like the worst possible setup. So I think because of that, like if it drives okay, I'm like, yeah, this is great, you know? Like I'm not, oh, this setup, I need to change this, change that. So I think it drives good. But yeah, packaging's probably the worst part, honestly, of the vet. Like I thought about going supercharger when I realized NA wasn't gonna work out, because it's like 650 wheel if you're lucky, unless you go to like a crazy LS. The problem is the steering rack is right in front of the crank pulley, and with the dry sump, I'm a big fan of dry sumps. I know a lot of people are not, but I am a big dry sump guy. With the dry sump and the regular pulley, there was no way to run a separate pulley for like a Magnuson or something. It's like, then you have belt issues, and I went through the pros and cons a lot because, again, I would have never, if you told me like 5 years ago that I was gonna do a Turbo LS drift car, I would have laughed because like I thought it was so stupid. But yeah, the other benefit of Turbo LS is we don't have a lot of room width-wise, but you got that long nose. So it's like you just kind of package everything forward.
All right, give us a rundown on suspension.
Oh yeah, so it's just engineering angle kit. So I looked at kind of all the angle kits. WiseFab didn't exist or hadn't come out at the time, but the more I looked at the Just Engineering kit, I just was such a fan of how they designed it. Like, it's stupid things, like as a nerd, you know, like they use spherical bearings on the uppers. So there's not really any, like they don't have any room for error. You know, if you made those adjustable, you can't use that adjustment because it's an A, right? So it's just gonna get wider, but you have more room for error in the fab. But theirs, it has to be perfect. And just everything about the kit, it's like maximized to make it the best it can be, even if it's harder to build. And I mean, I've like off-roaded this thing, rallied it, and knock on wood, so far so good. So I'm a big fan of I have their rear grip kit and their front kit. And having the rear grip kit, this is the first car I've ever had like any sort of ability to add grip aside from like tire pressure, spring rate. Yeah, it's a nice change of pace. And the angle, like my Miata, which was my previous main drift car, did not have a lot of angle. And this thing I have it limited more than even the minimum, and it's still so much angle. It's so nice to be able to like have that to use it when you want to.
Shocks.
BC, DS, front and rear. I did my own kind of like setup on the rear because on the Vets, normally you would have like the tub in here and you couldn't get to the top of the shock. So they come with like a side adjuster. Hold on, I got a purpose-built tool for this, i.e. a piece of aluminum. You only can't get to the top, so there's side adjuster, but that takes up a lot of space on the shock stroke. So I went to BC and just like pieced together some parts and was able to make a top adjuster setup work so I could get some more stroke, because that's one thing the Vets are not great at, is they have a pretty short shock system overall. Like you just don't have a lot of space to package all of that. I actually worked on the original Vet kit when I worked at BC because it used to use smaller diameter shocks and springs. And I was like, why don't we flip the front? Because it needs to be tight by the control arm, and I redeveloped it back then. So it's kind of cool to have a Vet now, you know. I had one then, but point is, longer stroke shocks in the rear. That was a big thing because running it soft in the rear with a lot of weight with the rear radiator and the fuel cell, it needed it. I didn't realize the first 2 test days I did, it was sitting on bump stops because I was on soft springs. And it's got an 8-gallon fuel cell that came with like the original car, same with the radiator. But a Deechworks in-tank surge tank setup, which that thing is amazing. Like I could never go back to any other way of doing it. The in-tank surge tank stuff is great. So I've got 3 400 liter per hour pumps on the feed side, 1 lift, but I don't use all 3. Like it made the 1100 on 2. And then in the Holly, I set up multiple parameters to where if it leans out or fuel pressure drops, then the third pump will come on automatically. That's like kind of a fail safe because it's there. But it makes it so nice because you don't have to run a bunch of lines. And I did the swirl pod, and I'll be honest, like radiator stuff, I feel like there's a lot of opinions. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard to find dedicated info on. So like I added the expansion tank, and I don't know if it helped or hurt things. Like the radiator setup kind of sucks. It's something I need to revise. It was kind of like I'll see how it does, but it gets clogged with rubber easily, and it's drawing hot air from underneath. So if you're on like at a grid life event where you're hot lapping around a big track, it'll just not cool down when you're moving. You know what I mean?
I've had that issue before in a lot of cars.
Yeah.
So kind of like a bigger picture question. So you bought this car and it was already like caged and already had some stuff done to it.
Yeah.
I find myself, whenever I buy someone's project, I end up redoing everything and wishing I started from scratch.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way with this?
I still think it was worth doing.
Because of the motor?
Yeah, the engine was like what I paid for the whole car, and I still have a bunch of fancy parts. Like I got the 6-piston, 4-piston brakes and a bunch of stuff off that original car. So it's still worth it, but this isn't even the chassis anymore, you know? Like I ended up getting rid of that chassis, then I got this chassis, and it wasn't until I got it back from getting caged that I realized it's like slightly frame rail bent, but it's okay because it's fine. But you know what I mean? Like I did end up redoing everything.
So the most interesting thing about this car, this was one of the first cars that ditched the transaxle and moved to the front trans.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that, why you did it, what you think the pros and cons of it are.
Yeah, so to do any sort of dog box quick change or sequential, any sort of race transmission quick change in the back is like 30 grand. And I'm like, I just can't justify that, and the serviceability of having to drop the whole rear subframe out if you have a transmission issue. So when I think it was RTS that came out with the diff mounts to mount the winners in the back, then it opened up that door. And to be honest, there's not like any less room in the front than any other car for a transmission. Like, I mean, it's a little tight up there, but I just built like a little top cover plate. That's like I'm not a sheet metal guy, I'm getting there, but it really wasn't that bad to fit. And it also kind of added to the benefit of doing the Turbo LS is I only have one exhaust pipe. So I have a single 4-inch, and the transmission has way more room on the left side. So it's kind of perfect if you only are running one exhaust. You know, if you're running two, it gets kind of tight in there. But running one, it's like, it just worked out perfect. And with the diff being flipped in the back, the drive shaft's tucked up really high. So I was able to keep the 4-inch pretty much above the floor pan the whole way. So I don't have to worry about it scraping and stuff.
So all you had to modify was just that little plate up top?
Yeah, like literally I cut out just that top area. Oh, and then kind of like right here, you know, for the shifter.
But that's way less than I would have expected.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like there's some bracing in there that you have to like trim back, but once it's all trimmed, it's kind of like the same as any other car. The transmission mount's funny because the humps in the floor for the factory cats or whatever, like ended up being the perfect spot for just a flat bar. You know what I mean? Like there's no, like it just lined up perfect with just going straight to those. So yeah, it really wasn't that bad. I mean, it's a little tight in there, like with fuel lines and everything, if you're getting to the drain and fill. Like my whole thing was trying to make it serviceable, but also you're fitting so much stuff in a small space. So I gotta put the dry sump tank up here, which that was nice because my Miata had it in the trunk and it sucked. This, it's like, you know, you can drain it, you can get to it, it's out of the way. But there's just a lot of stuff going on. Like no matter how hard I tried to minimize the stuff, it's like I'm building my Miata now and I'm doing almost the exact opposite. Not that I regret doing this way, but it's like to do this, it had to be kind of complicated. The Miata, I'm doing like the exact opposite, where I'm gonna try to make it like as rudimentary as possible, you know, like not add anything.
So what's the purpose of this car?
Well, it was for clutch kickers, because clutch kickers were still popping off back in the day. The ironic part is like I kind of rushed some things. Like if it weren't for trying to get the car done, I would have cut the cage and like fixed the frame rail and re-welded it, but I had already painted it, and I'm like, I can't, like I'm already behind schedule because I had to switch chassis and there was delays in that, and I'm like, I gotta get it done for the season, and I did. I got it done for the 4th round, and I made it to like the top 8, and I was good with that. I'm like, the fact the car worked perfect, no issues, like I'm good, you know.
Especially for a brand new car, it was
right,
impressive.
Literally 3rd time driving it, you know, and I was like, cool, I'm good, like next round we'll really go hard, you know, try to go for it. And then it didn't even happen. And then clutch kickers went under, and it is like the worst car for doing like small tire stuff. because it makes a ton of power. It's not rear biased, it's front biased. I mean, these cars came with way bigger than a 265/35 on them. It looks ridiculous with a it's just not a good car. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not good for like a 265 type thing. But people, the average person sees it and thinks like you're some massive opposite of an underdog. You know what I mean? And you're like, no, dude, this thing's not fast on a 265. You know?
No, you're telling me about it before. It's kind of like a situation where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, because you know it's going to be harder to keep up with like an SR 240 with this thing if you're limited to like not a crazy tire. But then to them, it looks like you're the big dick in town at the track. So it's like, if you do great, you're an asshole. If you do bad, you can't drive.
Right, and when in reality, it's harder for you with the crazy car, you know what I mean? So it's like...
First world problems for sure.
Yeah, I know. I think about that too. But it's like, it definitely is a bummer that like it didn't work out for that. And then it's like, it's not illegal for Pro Spec because it has a column and pedal box. But then obviously Pros, there's like not really anywhere where it fits in right now too much, unless doing like a 265 thing, which with a really sticky 265, like it works, you know, but it's just, I don't know. It's just not, that's not really what it was built for. It was built to run on like scrub 315s and be able to do clutch kickers, which was amazing because it was just open and simple. And then everyone tries to change it and then they wonder why it doesn't work as well. I just don't get it. It's like, why would you change what worked and then question why it doesn't work?
Do you enjoy driving it?
Oh yeah. So it's a blast. I mean, and it's great. Like, you know, people always hyped up this kind of car. Like, oh, it's like, you can't drive it without like a team of like 30 people. And yeah, I know it's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean? Like, dude, I took this car to Spring Break Bash 3 days by myself. And it was like any other car, you know, like I just changed tires and put fuel in it. I'm like, what difference really is there from me driving this versus like my Miata? Obviously versus a Z, you're gonna run through less tires and whatever. But like for me, driving this effort-wise, like, you know, upkeep is like the same as anything else. That's Pro-Am level, 500 horsepower. Like they're all gonna eat tires. This thing actually does better on tires because I can run 315s and I can change the wheel speed. So it's like a good car, but it goes back to that damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like literally people come up to me in pits like, damn, this guy brought a bazooka to a knife fight. And I'm like, well, I'm not competing. Like I'm just here driving for fun, you know what I mean? And then you drive with slower cars and it's like, oh, well, of course you are on their door, they're slower. And you know, it's like, you can't, you're that guy, you know? So that kind of sucks about it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you won't get any of that here at the compound. And I'm very excited to see you drive this thing here. What's the last car you drove at the compound?
It was that E36 I bought from Chelsea.
Okay, so quite a bit more power.
Yeah. Well, and even the only other car I think I've driven here was another E36 and then my F80, which does make like 500, but it's way heavier. This is like way more grip, way more power than anything I've ever driven here. And I know the compound has grip and it's tight. So like I've wanted to bring this car here for a long time. I'm really excited to drive it here and I'm excited for you to drive it because it's kind of like full circle. You know, like back in the day when Adam was getting into drifting, like I always got to drive his cars because I never really had, you know, I'd have a car, but he always had the cool cars, you know? And so now it's like, this is the first time I have like a cool car that he's gonna drive.
I'm excited because people usually tend to prove me wrong because I'll say things and then they'll find an old video or something that I forgot about. I don't think I've ever driven a Turbo LS.
Really?
No, and like when I think about it, I feel like it's really good because like I feel like we used to always play with Turbo LS Assetto cars back in the day.
Yeah.
And they worked really well. So like in my head, I kind of know what it's gonna feel like.
Yeah, it's not like gonna be anything so different that you will be surprised, but I do think you'll like the power delivery because of that. It's not like, I haven't driven a 1,000 horsepower Pro Charge car or anything, but it's not like that only linear.
Yeah.
Like it does have a little bit of turbo punch. Like if you put it in third and you're going in a straight line, you'll feel it not come in or when it comes in. But when you're drifting it, I don't know, it's like the power is like always there. It's hard to explain.
I mean, I'll tell you, like in my head, right? Like you would think like a supercharged LS making 1,000 horsepower would be great for drifting. In my opinion, if you don't have nitrous to wake it up, or if it's not a root style. Like if it's a root style, fucking sick, but then you got heat management issues.
Yep.
But what are they called? Centrifugal?
Centrifugal.
There you go.
Or centrifugal.
Those ones, I've driven them without nitrous before, and it kind of has a very similar feeling to what we're talking about, where it's still just like a very linear power band, not a lot of torque. So to get the wheels to flash loose, they usually use nitrous to wake it up on the bottom end. So I'm excited to see how this feels. I'm excited to see what you think, because driving a pro car here is a handful.
I bet. That's why I'm like, man, this is gonna be fun to do here. And yeah, it's that though, like you said, it's like this thing makes a ton of torque. I don't know what it made torque-wise, but like the boost comes on so early that I almost never have to clutch kick it. Like I've only had to clutch kick it a few times, even like fully hooked up. Unless you're like 120 mile an hour wheel speed into a 30 mile an hour turn.
How much tire pressure you on?
Usually like 6.
Okay. Sick.
But here, I don't know. Like what should I?
All in.
All in? All right,
All in.
sick.
You won't DB'd.
All right. No, these, dude, that's one thing about Nittos. Like every Nitto I've ever had has never DB'd. I mean, I've DB'd like one tire, but it
just means you're not driving hard
they're
enough.
really good at they're really good at not DB'ing. They really are though. It's surprising. Like I was running these at 4.5 at OSW and I dropped in that back section that's like real gnarly and it didn't DB'd.
All right.
So I won't DB'd. I might hear him down right now.
He's gonna DB'd.
Don't say that. That would be some shit if I did DB'd after talking all that. I'm not. I know, isn't that funny? It's just because the brides I had in it are the Z eggs or whatever, and people complain about like, it does kind of push your head forward if it's not weaned enough. So that was like just a seat I had lying around. And also I'm like, screw it, I'd rather my passengers have a halo. You know, I'm not worried about myself, I'll be fine. I ain't gonna crash.
Ready to go?
Is everyone ready for me?
We're waiting on you.
Oh, wow. Wow, it's warmed up. My car always takes forever to warm up, but it's warmed up. We're ready to roll. I'm I wouldn't say nervous, because it's hard to get nervous in drifting these days. Not that sound like a flex, but it's true. You do it a long time, but I'm more nervous than usual in a good way. Like I'm really excited. This is gonna be fun. And I've got 7.5 PSI in the tires, so it's gonna be, should scoot. Tires are still good.
I think you picked the right gear.
Yeah, that was way better. So it was longer before, for sure.
You want me to kill those tires for you, sir?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh, you left some on for me.
I didn't think there would be that much left, but
I'll kill them, don't you worry, bud. All right, give me the ground rules. What should I do, what shouldn't I do? It's LS, so stay away from limiter.
no, you can. I hit limiter.
I can turn the boost up?
Yeah,
I need more than you had. For
I
sure.
have enough.
It's got fuel in it, or you want to top that off?
Yeah.
Last car I drove, guy forgot to put fuel in it. I'm gonna go get my helmet.
Remote control Adam.
Crazy feeling.
Topping her off. I was too lazy to make a like fuel thingy, so I just used a little pump. Works pretty good though.
Turn the boost up for me?
I should probably, honestly.
I want it all. Give it all to me.
I've never ran it all.
No, okay.
I think where it's at is like pretty much, I need to like log it and see what it makes with steady load at this setting.
It sounded loaded up. That's why I was like, if it's got more in it, give it to me.
Turns you up to 57.
Pounds?
Yeah. It doesn't have as much power as usual, but it could be in my head because it's normally not this hooked up and running.
Yeah, there's a lot of grip here.
And running a lot of gear. I feel like if it was like 90 miles an hour gear, you could just stay in it, but it would be a little short. No, it's on all that.
see Adam LV drive your car.
This is the
now.
first time anyone else has ever driven this car. I'm curious to see what he thinks. I feel like there's so much grip here though, it's like not gonna be as impressive power-wise as I was like hoping it would be to him. Third gear and second in the horseshoe. My first time hearing it from the outside. It sounds rowdy. I want to film it, but I'm not going to because you guys are filming it. I want to just enjoy it. What happened?
Two initial things of feedback. One, I don't know how you don't hit your elbow on this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I always think I'm going to, but I don't somehow.
Really?
I need to change it.
Went in, I was like, oh my god, I can't feel my arm.
Yeah, I need to change it.
You have a front sway bar on this?
Yes.
I feel like my only initial thing that I feel like right off rip is it's way less off throttle side than I would think. Like
Yeah.
it floats a lot.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
has no rear bar either.
Really? I wonder if it's just, do you have like softer front spring rates maybe?
I think I probably could stand to go stiffer, but they're pretty stiff. It's like 20 or something in the
I
front.
wonder if it's a track width thing. That's like the biggest thing. The Vettes that I drove before were all, oh, I wonder if it's a transaxle thing. Because the transaxle, like, you
Yeah,
have
it had
more
a
weight
bunch
in
of
the rear, so
inertia.
it's like Field's car had so much side weight that it made it tricky to drive.
Yeah.
This one floated more like an E36, so it caught me off guard.
Yeah, and it's probably the fact that it has a lot of front grip.
Yeah.
I have like 27 in them. Like, you'd probably like it more with them aired up more.
No, I think the car feels pretty good.
Okay.
Because it's hooked up in the rear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels fast. Like, I don't have a baseline, but like
No, it's
digging through
definitely
here.
fast.
Yeah, okay. I was like, it feels fast, but maybe this isn't even that fast. But it feels like you're fucking moving. When you come back through there, you're just like,
Oh yeah. I bogged it a little bit on entry. I got to clutch kick a little bit harder.
yeah, it's with it this hooked up with that much wheel speed, you do actually have to
It's
clutch
good
kick
though.
it.
Like it's a very fun power band.
Cool. I'm glad you like it. Oh, sorry.
You're good. Right,
It's so fun to watch it, dude. I've never heard it from the outside.
Oh, it sounds crazy.
It does, yeah.
That's never happened to me in my life. Have you ever missed third?
Yeah.
That's happened to you?
No.
That's never happened to me. It didn't zing a gear. It's like it like got stuck in neutral.
Yeah. I feel like that one, I had one and I put that one in, that was my spare, and it's like the linkage is a little weird compared to like the other one.
All right. Well, I'll shift it harder.
Yeah, you got, that's what
I didn't zing a gear.
What?
It definitely didn't zing a gear.
Yeah.
It just didn't go into third.
It took me a while to get to the point where I would shift it hard enough to like just bang gears. Now I just like,
It's really hooked up.
that's what I'm saying, dude. It felt really fast.
Hell yeah.
You're like, God damn, this thing's like, before you can even get full throttle, you're already in the next spot.
I think part of the challenge too is like over in the drop, you build so much speed that slowing down is tricky.
Yeah, you realize you're coming in hot, you know, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna slow down in time, but shoot, I'm coming in fast.
Yeah, the floor mounted pedals are interesting too, because I rarely will drift a drift car with the floor mounted stuff. So it's like you gotta kind of get reacclimated to like the foot travel.
Yeah, and where they are. Yeah, and the pivot of them is kind of weird too. I only did it because it was like simpler than trying to do hanging pedals.
This is like a weird take, but I think if you could shorten the gas pedal throw a little bit, it would make it easier to light off. Because
Yeah.
you would like reduce the amount of time for flooring it. Like if you're
Yeah.
going between the brake and the gas.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because it does have a, like, sometimes you don't even realize that you're not all like full throttle.
Yeah, you gotta like really push
Yeah,
it.
you gotta,
The
like-
RTR Mustangs were like that too. Like the throttle was like so long, which is nice for resolution, but in a quick like fire off moment, it's harder to press
Yeah,
it.
it's like it takes you a whole second to get to full throttle versus it just being there.
Angle and suspension feels really good.
Good.
Do I still have a tire to keep driving?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're good. see, dude. I can't believe I've only ever seen it on video. Like, I know I've said it 20 times, but it's just cool. It's cool. Yeah, dude, it looks good. That was really clean, both of them. It's not doing bad on Sam.
No, it's good.
I need to redo the rear radiator because it's not the best, but
I mean, 200 after that much drive, it's not bad.
dude, it's so cool hearing it because like I've never heard it from the outside. And
It sounds wild.
It sounds nuts.
Thank you for letting me drive it.
Dude, I'm glad. I have more tires too.
I don't wanna.
It's fine.
I have my fun.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm the same way. But I'm really glad nobody else has ever driven it.
So I'd say the only thing that I would suggest from like drivability standpoint, I would want the ratio, like right now it's got a lot of forward, it feels like to me, and not a lot of side. So like when I find myself on the drop, I feel like I'm gonna fly into the wilderness, but if I pick up throttle to get the side bite back, it drives you forward too fast.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes it a little bit more challenging, like if you're trying to run a particular line, like in a comp.
Right.
So like that would be the only critique I would have, is if you could either add some side or take away a little forward just to get that balance back.
Right.
But the tires are like, I know these tires really well, and it's when you start getting to the low pressures, it's like they do crazy shit, and it's hard to set up around it.
Yeah, no,
But
they
it-
start getting wild at low pressures.
But with that being considered, like my biggest challenge I always had when I used to run this tire was that it had too much side bite, where that's not an issue with this car.
Right.
Because you could follow, in my opinion, a slow car with how
You
it
can.
is right now.
Yeah, you
like
can.
it floats very nice.
It's nice. It helps a lot because it took me a little bit to tinker with it to get it to do that. But you can stay behind a pretty slow car without it like wanting to just drive through them. Yeah, I'm curious to do another lap with it, like with the boost turned up a little bit. And
I
I'm curious.
forgot you drove with less boost than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious. It's not. I didn't go up much.
I would say I could take more.
Yeah, it would take
purely
more.
just for the hit on the run up. Because like I will usually let the turbo flash the wheels, but right now it's so hooked up that it will dead hook going straight.
Yeah,
So like I had to clutch kick to break it loose. I was like, God damn, we're moving.
Yeah.
You see me slamming on the brakes, slow the f down.
Yeah. It's like by the time you get to third, you're going so fast. Like I only have single line wastegate control, you know, where I'm just like bleeding from the bottom or whatever. So I'm not like keeping the gate shut.
Got it.
So I think it would help a lot if I did like 4-port or CO2 would probably help even that much more. But it's like so rare lately that I drive it in a scenario where I can run enough grip for it to matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with less grip, it just like you don't even feel it lag. It just lights, you know?
It's definitely pro car level of grip for sure.
Yeah. Good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Because it feels, especially here, like you're like, oh my God. Like the first lap I did, I'm like, we're moving.
It's like this. Driving a car that you've never driven before is nerve-wracking
sure.
on this level.
I'm
Especially
sure.
like I don't want to wad it up into trees. I love though, like the last one, if you can get this corner right where you can just pick up throttle and just stay matted.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best feeling ever.
I'm such a bitch with transitions, like in every car, and it's something I'm working on. But like I always want to handbrake the transition, which makes it so lame. And it's so much better if I don't.
But you know, I think part of that comes to setup, right? So like, I don't know if you saw when I like basically almost spun here on the skid pad.
Yeah.
That's like one of the things I do to test a car's side bite is I'll try to stay flat through that whole transition and see if I have the side to catch me on the skid pad.
Just dig out of it.
Yeah, if it doesn't, then like you basically have to lift in the middle of the transition, otherwise you build too much speed.
Right.
Because it's like you're building all that forward through that transition, but then you don't have the side to catch the car.
Right.
So it's like, again, that balance, like you could take some forward out or you could add some side, and then it just depends on what you want to achieve.
Yeah, for sure. I just like rarely get a chance to drive with a surface that has grip. You
How
know?
much toe do you have in it?
Like almost none.
Okay, yeah, we didn't add a lot of toe on this tire either.
Yeah.
The tires just got a lot of natural forward.
Yeah, I put a ton of toe gain in it at one point, and then I just left it, and then it was terrible, and I took it out. So
Yeah.
it might have a little toe gain, but it shouldn't have much.
I think we ran like an 1/8 toe in the E36 on this
Yeah,
tire.
I run like just enough to know that I don't mismeasure and it's towed out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
sick. I'm so glad you like it.
No, it's sick. It's got a good soul. Some engines feel soulless.
Yeah.
It makes it not fun to drive.
Yeah. Because that's like Chelsea was talking about. I was telling him about it, and he's like, I hate them. They feel like so lame. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't have as much like variety of experience with different power plants, but like it feels like it has excitement, you know? Like it's not boring to drive, but it's also not hard to drive.
I wish you could drive my, it's so funny, right? Because people have these conceptions that like an LS Turbo should be like easier than like a JZ car.
Right.
Like my JZ with all the fucking nitrous we throw at it feels more LS than this LS.
I'm sure. Yeah. Do you run CO2 boost control? No. Interesting.
It's Freddie.
Do you?
He's the boost control.
Is it 4-port?
Freddie's the one controlling the boost. He uses a computer.
Well, mid-run, he's like, more boost.
You want to try with power up?
Yeah.
Don't tell me you still got tire life.
A little bit.
Taylor, thank you for bringing your car to the compound. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, dude. That was so fun. I've been wanting to drift this car here for so long, and finally feeling the grip and the intensity of this with this. And I'm so glad you got to drive it.
It was fun.
It was the first time having someone else experience, because it's like I haven't driven enough crazy different cars to know, but I'm like, it feels pretty good, I think, you know.
Oh,
so
it's fast.
Yeah, it feels fast.
It's fast. Thank you guys for watching. You can find all Taylor's social stuff on the screen in the description. We're gonna end this one off for a bang. Hit the like button if you want to see Taylor do a burnout. If you don't hit the like button, f you, he's gonna do it anyway.
I'm doing it anyway. Thanks for having me. Goodbye. He made me say that. Forced labor.